That's where we're really encouraging parents to, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, to make special time an enduring practice, because it has really, it's the practice that gives and keeps on giving over time. So here I wanted to talk about what you can expect, because at this point I've been doing this work, and have been both giving and watching parents give and following families that give special time and that use the other listening tools as well. Really, it's special time is one, it's kind of the leading tool, but play listening is important. Setting limits is vital. Stay listening is what you do when your child has big feelings to unload. And special time kind of opens the door to your child really showing you what they need, and to you actually being able to interpret and understand their behavior accurately. So it opens the door both for your child to show you what's going on, and for you to see it, understand it, and furnish, basically meet their core needs. Listening partnerships are the fifth tool, and none of the tools work very well unless you are getting some listening time, so that the tensions that build up every day as a parent, don't become a boulder that you and your child can't see around. They can't see you around this boulder of tension that you carry, and you can't see them around this boulder of tension that you carry. And listening partnerships are what allow us to laugh and cry and rage that collection of difficulty, feelings of difficulty that gather over time for any parent in a society where parenting is really so poorly supported. You deserve the support that listening partnerships give, and you and your child will actually be able to see and understand one another so much better if that's also an enduring practice. But today we're talking about special time as the lead tool, the sort of the pioneering tool to open the doors to deeper understanding and a way to release stress. So what to expect? Well, when you first start giving special time to your child, there's, I don't know, 4 different typical ways that children respond to the first few times you offer special time, or the first, say, 10 times you offer special time. One way is a very slow and cautious approach, where your child just asks for something that they like to do, and that they want to do many times a day. So if your child is really into, trains on a train track, then what they want to do is play with their trains, and you're just there to watch them play with their trains. That's all they want you to do. And that happens the first time. It happens the second time. Mommy, let's play trains. The third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. Or it could be a favorite storybook. Or it could be, dressing Barbie. Or it could be, I don't know, riding their trike fast down the sidewalk. Children have their passions, and their mild interests. And it could be, something like that, just something you've done with them. You do it anyway, special time or not. And here they are at special time. You're all geared up for it to look special, and it doesn't look special at all. It's like, oh my gosh, we've done this before. Don't you want to do something special? And you mustn't do that. You just allow. So that's one way it can open. It can open a little less cautiously. It actually opens cautiously because children need to check out what it means that you'll do whatever they want to do. And they're not ready to expect too much. They don't. Basically, it's hard for children to get their hopes up if their hopes have been dashed many times before, because parents are in charge of the relationship and have to say this happens and have to say that. So your child may be slow to open up just because they don't know what you really mean. So that's one possibility. They may do mild exploration, well, let's take a walk, or let's make, let's get out all the cans and bang on them in the kitchen. That's a little more than mild exploration, actually. So it could be just, that they are trying to figure things out. And so Oops, my husband is here. You're on live Facebook TV. Thank you. Okay. Um, uh, there could be enthusiastic exploration, sort of moving up on the courage, child's ability to use their courage to ask for things that don't usually happen. So they could say, well, can we jump on the beds? And you can go, yeah, I think I have to put something up against the bedpost so you don't hurt yourself, but let me fix that. Okay, there we go. That's what you want to do. I'm right here. So that's a sign that a child, has some confidence that you will pay attention, and you don't have to go through this very slow confidence building thing, which is not a bad sign. It's like most children are cautious around, whether to expect very much from adults or not, and it's fine. Just go through it. It might take you 10 special times before they ask for anything very, different or, inventive. But that is what it takes. You can't suggest a special time that's inventive and have that work. It has to be the child's choice, so you follow their choice. And then sort of on the other extreme, it's like it may be that your child, when you offer special time, comes up with an immediate issue. Don't turn on the timer. I don't like the timer. No, not the timer. And they may burst into tears, and you haven't even gotten to special time. You were just going to start timing it. And they have a protest that brings up big feelings. Or sometimes it's, well, I don't know what to do. There's nothing here to do. And you get sort of boredom. And what you need to know is that your child is trusting you already, to be there for the feelings that they have. That's actually a sign that all is going very well. It may be a bit of a disconcerting sign to you. What's important is that you listen. It's like really special time is, it's listening through the vehicle of play. And you can also listen through the vehicle of an upset, oh, there's nothing to do. Okay, well, I'll just be with you while you see if there's anything that comes to your mind. You get to choose anything. And, I'll be here. Maybe your mind will think of something. And you just basically be pleased with what's going on. Or they're having a huge fit over the timer. Yeah, I did turn the timer on. That's how we do special time. We use a timer. So it starts, and then a little later it ends. Yeah, I'm sorry it upset you. I'm right here. I'll be here till it feels better. So you take your stay listening position of, okay, something needs to be scrubbed out here. The whole idea of special time was all it took for your child to take you up on the idea that you would really be with them for whatever they want to do. And what they want to do is cry about the timer. And that is an excellent thing to do. If the idea of the timer stopped their brain, they're not going to be able to choose anything interesting for special time until they clear that out. Whatever the disappointment is, the timer is the excuse to go in and work on something bigger, something old. So those are the various ways. I'm sure there are other ways that, the practice of special time can begin, but those are the ones that came to my mind this morning. Okay, and as you do special time, safety will build. As you prove that you can pay attention for 10 minutes, as you prove that you can allow things that you usually wouldn't during those 10 minutes. As you show your interest and you keep your interest and your warmth coming towards them, even if you're both looking at something or they asked you to draw right next to them so that your eyes are down on paper. As you make eye contact, this builds a sense of safety. It builds a feeling of your willingness to connect. And that will open up such an interesting process of your child showing you who they are, what they love, what they struggle with during the vehicle of special time. And they trust you more with, what they're thinking outside of special time. So as you do special time over, say, the first month or two, your child will suddenly begin telling you, Aunt Nora is always so busy. How come she can't play? And they never talked about Aunt Nora before like that. And they never said that they noticed that Aunt Nora is, you know, kind of running on a fast track every time they see her. So, children's observations come out. So one mom that I think I talked about it earlier, or I often talk about, started giving her son special time in the morning before school. And within 2 weeks, he was crying and telling her all of the troubles that he felt about his relationship with his dad, who lived in a different place, and he had to go back and forth between the households. And she had never, ever heard his feelings about his relationship with his dad. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks of special time before all of that came pouring out. And she was so glad that he could relieve those feelings with her. And, the engine for that safety was special time. So you'll hear more about what's hard on your child. You'll also see that as you progress with using special time on a regular basis and stay listening when needed, you will notice that your child's behavior clears, that there are fewer behavior hitches, or that there are longer periods where your child is delightful and cooperative and able to flex and enthusiastic about their life. And then there will be these intensely emotional periods where they're hoping that you will listen to them while they get the tensions in their lives released with your help and your caring and your confidence. So life will, the difficulties and the troubles that your child carries will slowly but surely confine themselves to small, intense periods that are very, very emotionally intense. But as you begin to trust, stay listening, you'll find that your confidence builds, that although they are absolutely out of their mind with upset right now, they will recover their ability to think, they'll recover their perspective. All you have to do is stick with them, listen, and care. So your confidence in this whole emotional release process and in your child's wisdom in triggering it with tiny little things to bring up the great big feelings that lurk below will increase also. And your trust in your child will increase. And as you're using listening partnerships, your enjoyment of your child will increase even when they are, really off track. You'll actually get the message and you'll know which tool to use to respond. You'll have a way to respond. And if you don't know how to respond or are really exhausted with having to respond, you'll have confidence that your next listening partnership is going to take care of that, even if it can't take care of that today. So your ability to handle the ups and downs of parenting, the emotional roller coaster that it is living with children and living with yourself as a parent, you'll begin to have more and more confidence that you know what to do, or that you can soon figure that out as soon as you get some listening time. So special time gives you, slowly but surely, a sense of trust in your child's judgment, a sense that a cry is a good thing, not an obnoxious thing or a bothersome thing or a total problem. And and your child will begin to tell you more directly what they need and how they need it. So I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted by these questions coming in. I'm going to try to stay with my train of thought and we'll get to the questions if I can. Let's see. Oh, your child will tell you what they need. So oftentimes the sign that special time has become a practice and your child is really depending on it is that your child says, Daddy, I need some special time. Instead of going and, pushing their sister over or, grabbing a toy from a friend. It's like what you get is, I need some special time, because your child can tell that they're drifting out of your orbit of love, and they know what will bring them back in, what will help them have that sense of connection again, and they ask for it. And parents learn to respond to that, because if you don't, then behavioral signals come out that are much harder to deal with, that make everybody upset. So that's a sign that things are going very well. There's your child is depending on special time. They know how good it feels to be in connection with you, and they know how to get there if you will help them. They don't have to use, aggression or withdrawal or, obstinacy or refusal to show you that they're out of whack. They just can tell you, I'm almost out of whack. How about special time? And over time, special time becomes a problem solver. It's like if your child's behavior winds up, being really, really difficult over a period of a week or so, it will occur to you, I think we have to up special time. I think there's something in there my child can't tell me. I need to increase the safety so that whatever that is can show itself either in a big cry over having to go to bed at 8 o'clock, or over what I served for dinner, or over I don't want to read this book and I have to read this book for school. So you will begin to be an adroit problem solver using special time and the other listening tools. And so what I'll say about how children turn out when you, oh, then in adolescence, special time continues to be a very, very useful tool. It continues to be sort of an avenue into each other when there's an awful lot of interesting other things going on. And you may use special time less frequently. It may not, it's probably certainly will not be an everyday thing. But it will be a way that your teen or preteen can show you what's important for them. I think just the personal example that comes to mind is that when my son turned 13 or 14, he still loved special time and really craved it. And it's my older son. And what he wanted to do for several times in a row is he really loved music, and he was really choosing his music. It's like, that's the period of time in which young people try to show who they are through their music and their clothing and other external identifications that they carry that say, this is me. And he was really interested in music. So he got 2 little speakers for his bedroom so he could play the music he wanted in just the way he wanted to. And for special time, he would ask me to come in and lie down in a very particular place on his carpet in the middle of the room. And then he would adjust the speakers and measure them to make sure that they were exactly the same distance away from my ears if I laid in that spot. He was very precise about this. And then special time would begin when we had it all measured right. And I would lie down and he would lie down next to me. And then he would play his very favorite songs. And as he played them, he would lay there and just, visibly, but, very mildly just tremble, because the music moved him and my attention gave him the feeling that he was, I don't know, it just moved him to have me there and have the music and have us lying there together next to each other on his carpet. So young people will, and that was just such a surprising at first, but also such a deeply trusting thing that happened for us. And I did not particularly love his music, but my opinions were not important. What was important was he was showing me what he loved, and he was completely open as he did it. It was just such a pretty thing. It was very, very special to me. So, and sometimes teens will come in late at night, and what you do is, try to be awake and half alert at least, so that they can begin talking about all of the things that are on their minds. And you wind up doing unannounced special time where you really push yourself to pay full attention, and you don't go get yourself a cup of tea or ask them if they want a cup of chocolate in the middle of it. You just listen. So in a way, you train yourself to give special time even when you didn't say you were going to. If your child looks like they need listening or need the calm attention. And during that time, you give no advice. You use the same special time rules. So that begins to happen in teen years. You also get teen explosions. And but special time helps keep repairing the relationship, even when it's rocky, even when you kind of lose sight of each other for a while. And it can be. I worked with one dad whose daughter, he had divorced his children's mom, and the daughter was pretty alienated from him at the time of the divorce. And then she went off to college, and it had been 2 years since he had done very much with her at all. And he just decided he wanted to rebuild that relationship. And I said, well, drive up there with no agenda whatsoever and just say, I have the morning for you, and or whatever 4 hour or 5 hour chunk of time that you have, and we can do anything you want or nothing at all during this time. You don't have to be with me, but I'm here, and I'd be happy to go for a walk, take you out for a meal, see where you go to school, see, do anything you'd like. And just open it up and don't demand that she take it, just offer it. And if she doesn't take anything, then just say, okay, well, I'm here until 4 o'clock. And if you think of something, here's where I'll be. You can come find me at the park. And just make yourself available, but don't push yourself on her, because you cannot force a relationship, even if you're her father. She needs to want it. She needs to decide to take it. And actually she did. She spent time with him. I don't remember what they did exactly, but she